back on June 14th, I believe, middle of June, we had a council meeting. We all passed a motion to asking the mayor and the BA really to develop a spend management plan. I have a brief update from Mr. Fehrenbach that the mayor and Mr. Fehrenbach are close to preparing that spending plan, which they have named the fiscal integrity plan. So we should be seeing that fairly soon, and looking forward to seeing the initiatives that they are going to identify for the council. One thing I want to share with the public, and I don't know if anyone knows this, I did not know this until last night when I was talking to the borough's tax assessor. He kind of made it off the cuff comment that surprised me. He told me that our municipal tax levy was actually 13.2%. And we've all publicly stated it was 11.6%. He offered some reasons as to why he thinks we, the council, might have been confused, but he is adamant that our tax increase works out to be 13.2%, and that the overall impact on average is not the 6.3% that had been communicated in the mayor's newsletter, but actually it should be closer to 7.9%. So I don't know if anyone else knows this. I don't know if the mayor or Mr. Fehrenbach knows. Maybe there are other adjustments, but I can't think of a more reliable source than our tax assessor, who did walk me through the numbers. So I've seen his numbers.
Thank you. If I may, Mr. Gubitosi, I believe, first of all, the assessor has not told me what he told you. Secondly, when we came up with a similar percentage, it did not take into account the new construction that occurred in 2022 that changed the base going into 2023. I will contact Mr. Aguilar regarding that to find out how we came up with that number. But the actual effect on you and I when we receive a municipal tax bill because of that additional construction of last year will result in the 11.6, not a 13.2, but I will speak with Mr. Aguilar regarding it.
His comment was it's smoke and mirrors, basically. That's not a quote, that is my paraphrasing. That it's smoke and mirrors when we obfuscate with the fact that there's new construction built into the new baseline. And he gave me very specific numbers, checked it a couple of times. The actual taxes that the tax levy for the borough in 2022 was $7,118,812. 2023, the borough's tax levy, this is excluding the library, $8,060,315.
Correct.
That is a $941,500 increase in taxes, and that 941,500 divided by the 7,118,000 is 13.2%. So he said it doesn't get any cleaner than just saying your taxes were X, they're now Y, and regardless of what baseline we divide them by, the increase in taxes went up 13%. And what frustrates me, Mr. Fehrenbach, is I was as engrossed in these conversations as anyone on the council, and I felt I was misled. I did not see that coming until, and he mentioned it almost off the cuff, and I said, whoa, wait a minute, what? So if we're communicating to our residents that the tax increase that we have put forward is 11.6%, I want to go on record tonight as saying that is not a correct representation to our residents.
I am simply going to say that I will have a discussion with Mr. Aguilar, but the method that I just described to you is a method that has been used for years in municipal government, and I am surprised that Mr. Aguilar, with all of his experience, is not aware of it.
He could not have made it simpler for me, but please do have a conversation. He told me that he shared a number of emails with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move to public comments. I've asked, before the meeting, I've asked Council President DeMarco to kind of handle the public comments. I have a, excuse me, I have a sick, I have somebody in my family that's ill and needs some attention, so I need to take care of that. So I will try to jump on Zoom, but I've got to take care of something at the family. So thank you.
Mr. Fehrenbach and clerk, I just ask that you take notes.
Beach. Now, since you weren't here, in 2023, the mayor proposed a 20% budget increase. And the council, once they had access, reduced that to 13.2. Now, my question for you is, if we use 600,000 in unrealized surplus in that budget, what was the true percentage that our taxes went up in 2023?
Roughly 21.
So we were lied to, we were told that it was, he said 20, it got down to 13, but he spent 20 anyway.
Well, when the mayor first said 20, it was closer to 30 because it was a much larger anticipated surplus that we would not recover. But you're right on the mark. The 13.2% intended us to recover our surplus. And now that Mr. Garza shared that we didn't recover 600,000, effectively between surplus and taxes, we spent 21, I'm sorry, 21%.
So the true
the
cost
tax
of the
effect.
taxpayers in 2023 was 21%.
Of
Except
the
they
prior
were
years,
told it was 13.
of the prior year's taxes, yes.
Okay, great. So now there's this shopping going on about 3.7. Well, is it really 3.7? Let me ask you this, Mr. Kurtz, how much of the surplus are you going to use this year in this budget for 2020?
There's $700,000.
So you're using 700. Now, my calculation says that right now we have about $1.2 million and change in that account. Would that be accurate?
Only 3.
Close.
Okay, great. So now if we don't put the money back this time, we're going to be under $1 million. I mean, this is getting very scary to me. We're 2.8 3 years ago. And this is just a disingenuous process. As a former councilman, I'm horrified that this didn't start in January and you had the department heads come in here, prove out their budget. That's how we did it in Manasquan. It worked out great. People said, you need this year, you need this next year. This is really scary. And I would advise you as council people not to approve this budget until the 2023 audit comes in, because I don't trust anything after this 2022 audit. But thank you for the time, and I appreciate all your compressed effort to try to make something happen here, because the process is really supposed to start in November, but you weren't able. Mr. Bartz, I have one more question. You work in a number of towns. Do those towns have council representatives on the finance committee?
There would be a finance committee, right?
Yeah,
That would be appointed as council.
so there'd be a council representative on it.
Yeah.
In Plainfield, they have a council person on the finance committee?
They have a finance committee that's made up of council members.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.